the Most High. Yet you shall be brought down to Sheol, to the lowest depth of the pit. You understand? Satan is a fallen angel that God casted down because in his heart all he wanted is to be like the Most High. Now watch the term "like the Most High," because that is as much as it can get. He is always working on being an imitation of the real thing.
That's right.
Like the Most High. He tries to go as high as he can, above the stars and above the clouds, as high as he can. He even convinced the people to build the tower that will go through the clouds, almost to touch the stars, so they can get up there. But he knew one thing. He could never be the Most High.
Yes.
Thus, he wanted to be like the Most High. Now, why do I start with Satan? It's kind of depressing. You talk about toes and all, and then you start. Because this is the key. The one who weakens the nations is the one who deceives the nations. Revelation chapter 20 is a description of what is going to happen to Satan when Jesus is about to return, and we with him.
Yes.
The Bible says that when the Lord returns, Satan is about to be cast down to that bottomless pit, and he will be shut off all the way for about 1,000 years. But what the Bible says in Revelation chapter 20 is something very interesting that repeats itself twice in the same chapter, in the same actually topic, and this is of course the one that we see in verse. Let's start with chapter 20 from the very beginning. Then I saw an angel coming down from heaven, having the key to the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold of the dragon, the serpent of old, who is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal on him. So, listen to this, so that he should deceive the nations no more. Until the 1,000 years were finished. But watch this. But after these things, he must be released for a little while. You would think that after Satan is down there for 1,000 years, he would learn the lesson. And he will stop deceiving. Well, watch this. Verse 8 says, or verse 7 I would say, now when the 1,000 years have expired, Satan will be released from his prison. And verse 8 says, and will go out to deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth. Why do you think Satan returns to deceive the nations? I tell you why. Because that's the only thing he knows. Because that's his job. Because that's what's written in his job description. It's because that's what he doesn't have an understanding of the right things. His whole mindset is twisted. Now, what is to deceive? I tell you what is to deceive. To deceive is to know the truth and choose to say the opposite.
Wow.
If you say something bad, but you do not have a clue that you're saying the wrong thing, then you're just wrong. But if you know the truth, and yet you choose to say the opposite, you are a deceiver. So whenever we hear that the nations are deceived by Satan, it means only one thing. It means that Satan knows the truth, and chooses to tell the nations a lie. Now it is extremely important you understand, this is the foundation of the entire message. Because if we don't understand that, we don't understand anything about to be chosen by the Lord for a purpose. And I can tell you one thing. Satan is out there to deceive not only the nations, but to deceive the church as well.
That's right.
And one of the things that we're about to see is that he has been doing pretty well. The plan of Satan to deceive the world is perfectly, meticulously made with 3 stages. The strategy is very simple. 1, I want to make the nations want to get rid of Israel. 2, I want to make Christians believe that God is done with Israel. 3, I want to make Israel think that God is done with them. And weaken them and let them understand that it's do whatever it takes just to get peace. So they will be weak. Interesting, isn't it? He is obsessed with the name of Israel. And I often wondered, how come he's obsessed with the name of Israel? I tell you, he really has nothing personal against us. Satan hates God. Did you know that?
Yes.
It's very simple, huh? Satan hates God. And Satan makes sure that all those who are being deceived by him will hate God. But there's only one problem. When you hate God and you want to do something to God, it's a little problematic, isn't it? Why? Can you see him? No. How can you stab God? How can you shoot at God? How can you harm or make him, cause him pain? You cannot. Certainly not the way you think you can. The Bible says in that very famous song, Psalm 83, do not keep silent, O God, and do not hold your peace, and do not